When I finally had enough of my covert narcissist ex-wife, and I refused to be abused anymore or put up with any abuses anymore, I finally lashed out. Now, I want you to know that as an empath, you will view any slightly cruel behavior as narcissistic. And you could end up feeling bad, end up feeling guilty, wondering if you're the one immediately. And when you feel that, that confirms you're definitely not the narcissist because they cannot feel that. They do not care. They will say they do, they will try and act like they do, but they will not be able to do a good job acting that out because they do not have those feelings, emotions, nor are they capable of having them, so they cannot act out in that way. Now, with my ex wife, after years of abuse, and a year and a half when she was supposed to have a psychologist, and when she was supposed to have had her brain scan, a SPECT scan done by this point, and be taking her supplements, a proper diet, all of this stuff. So long after all of this stuff, we were at lockdown, we were coming out of lockdown from COVID, and when I was on the phone with her, she was trying, I was at work, I was stressed out. She made lockdown a nightmare. She wanted to make sure that this quality time we had together to spend time together and play games and all the stuff, she was going to make sure was not going to be that, and took the opportunity to take that from me and do nothing but implement as much damage as she possibly could on me. She treated me so absolutely horrible that I could never do that to anyone. And it got so bad that when she was lashing out, just throwing out word salad, nothing is wrong. And like I said before, much of the time she complained about how horrible and terrible everything is because nothing's wrong and there's nothing to complain about. That's basically what she was always upset about. And then she would lie to other people about some issue that happened between her and I that was an absolute fabrication, 100% lie, no truth to it at all, to make me look like a bad person. I When she was going crazy over nothing, I would just look at her. Then she'd yell at me because I decided I was gonna stop feeding into it, saying, "Oh, poor you, oh, poor thing, oh, poor, poor, poor." I stopped that. And the first time I finally decided I'd stop it, I thought she's gonna yell at me and say that I never give her sympathy. And that's exactly what she did immediately. Immediately started accusing me of always doing that, which I knew she was going to do. And I thought, this is what she's going to use to tell all these other people lies about me. Fine, don't care, don't care. When she would finish, I would just look at her and say, and I was serious about this, I wonder what's wrong with you. That's the only thing I could say. I wonder what's wrong with you. I thought that she was hallucinating something. Maybe she had a multiple personality. What I thought for a long time was that she had a multiple personality of her mother. Because everything she said about her mom, that was just the worst things. was everything that she would do. Everything. And she would do it on the worst level, just the absolute worst level. And one day when I was at work and she was screaming at me, hollering over the phone, all these insults and how terrible everything is because we're doing good financially. She has her car and she has her freedom. She has plenty of money and everyone else is doing bad except for her and she's got plenty of reason. Oh, it's terrible, terrible. It is your fault. It's your just all of this stuff. And then gaslighting, telling me, remember when we did this? And you said this, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you did this, and I was trying to be loving, blah. And you're like, no, woman. And you screamed at me, and you just like, click, and send her a message until you could speak to me like an adult. Then don't speak to me at all. By the time I get home, you better have yourself under control and do not lash out at me or attack me because you're angry that things are going well. That ended up being a message I would end up sending her every day when she'd just be up, blow up. Then one day I sent her a message and I said, Levon, I absolutely hate you. I hate you. And this feels so good to finally tell you that after all the love and all of the compassion I've given you and the rage and disgusting abuse you've done to me, I absolutely hate you. And I want you to know that it's finally worked. Congratulations. You making sure that there's no other possible emotion I could feel towards you except absolute rage. You've finally succeeded after years of doing this every day. I hate you. Congratulations. And at this point, we already confirmed we were going to have a divorce, so it was over. And then she went out and started telling people that what really hurt her is when I once told her I hated her. She didn't tell them it had just happened. So she went off and just lied to everyone as far as is that had happened years ago and she was just trying to make it work. And she'd be like, look, look, here's the message, here's the message. And people would really see that and be like, wow. Despite them knowing me and knowing her and seeing my actions and seeing her actions, knowing her for years and knowing me for years, because of that one message, they're like, oh, well, if he says he's had enough of the abuse and he's a very nice guy and he's very giving and we see him like that all the time, and you're very cruel and very mean and very evil and yell and say negative things about people all the time, and we've caught you in lying, lying, lie out again, well, obviously, he must be the bad guy. You poor thing. I had enough. I had enough. I yelled at her at times, as far as when she would wake me up and poke me and go, ha, 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 I'm just trying to be playful, like that. Like, what are you going to do about it? This is what I'm going to say if you tell people that I'm being physically abusive, that I'm being loving. This is what you wanted. You wanted me to be physically loving. How do you like that? How do you like that? That's what I'm going to say. I'm sure she did tell people that. So what happened is after all the violation, her constantly violating me, and I realized as a covert narcissist, she would think, how can I violate this man for being nice and loving to me, for me to get power and control over him? It's like, you're going to be loving and sweet to me and continue to do this up for me after all the harm and abuse. Let's see how far I can push it. Let's see how far I can go and what you will allow. Later on, I was told by my psychologists and therapists that told me for years, stop being nice to her and stop rewarding her abusive behavior. You're not giving her love in her eyes. She's taking this as a challenge to see what she can get away with, and it will get worse. They were right. And when I saw what the world leading expert in this stuff, in narcissistic relationship issues, that's exactly what she told me. She said, sir, I can tell that you've continued to be nice and loving to her, and you've given her more and more love because that's how this got that bad. a covert narcissist is not capable of, and they will push and push and push because they get off on being able to abuse the person who's being nice to them and see that person put more into it. They like that. I was like, that is scary. That is scary. So after a while, when she'd get into the room, my whole body would clench. I was vomiting up blood and stomach acid, UTIs, kidney stones, IBS, all of these things, all of these issues. And they were all really severe because I had so much cortisol going through my body for so many years. And I let her know. I was like, you better get the fuck away from me, you fucking bitch. Get the fuck back! When she'd come to me and she'd shove me, like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I mean, it was bad because her mindset was, how can I violate him, say these horrible things, violate. But her mind was constantly on violate. And what's funny is they're like, oh, because you called her a bitch just because she did all of these horrible things and attacked you all the time means you're the narcissist. And you'll think that. Be like, oh my God, I'm the narcissist because I wanted them to stop hurting me after so many years and after so many thousands of times. I finally said to stop. I'm the narcissist because I said a bad word. Or because I threatened them to stop physically harming me and keep their hands off and stop putting their hands on me. I must be the narcissist. Don't fall for that shit. There's a bunch of people on this channel gaslighting me. They're like, ha ha ha, you cleaned better than her and she was jealous of you? Sounds like you're the narcissist. Got you. The fuck? They are serious. Narcissists cannot understand. They're not joking and they're not trying to make a point on the ignorance of narcissism. Those are actual people saying that and believing that, thinking that they got me. So don't believe that gaslighting. Anyway, I just got to this client and I got to handle this stuff. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.